Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of Congregational Humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to First Unitarian Society on this first Sunday morning of spring, March 23rd, 2025. Our programming is on-site live, online live, and on-demand 24/7. It is good to be together in all these ways, and to gather together in this place where we commit ourselves to live out our common values, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live in ways that bring a world of community of peace, safety, and justice for all into being. First Unitarian Society is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. My name is Karen Rowell, and today we celebrate the spring equinox, one of 2 times a year when lightness and darkness are in balance. This assembly is brought to you by the Seasonal Celebrations team with the help of Avi, Claire, Julie, the Eclectics, our amazing tech team, and all the kids and adults who will be reading various parts of our program today. This is an intergenerational celebration, so there's no ethical explorers or owl classes today. Kids are invited to sit in the area up front and to participate in the program when called upon to do so. We have childcare available for younger children, and there is also an area in the back near the tech booth for families if you'd like to keep your kids with you. As Avi lights our chalice, please read with me the UUA value of interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. Now please read with me our congregational covenant. Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now let's hear our first song from the Eclectics.
The like to be as good a friend to you as you are to me. I'd like to be as good a friend to you as you are to me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our celebration of the vernal equinox. As is our custom here at FUS, we celebrate the change of the seasons over the course of the year. And here we are into the year, and it's the spring equinox. So this morning, we are staging our own spring pageant to bring in the colors, the sights, and the sounds of the season to tide us over until spring's natural splendor fully emerges here in Minnesota. It's not quite here yet. But, you know, some people start spring at the beginning of March. We wait till the vernal equinox. So on this day, we take heed of the onset of spring to be reminded that out of old skins and spent forms, rejuvenation and transformation happen. We pause to observe this renewal in the natural world, and we welcome the possibility of renewal in our own lives to reinvigorate our weary bodies and dispirited minds through celebration and coming together in community. Now, we always begin our seasonal celebrations with calling the quarters, acknowledging the seasonal change through the four elements: air, fire, water, and earth. The elements our ancestors have honored for centuries. So we're going to have a children's procession as the elements are welcoming us to the spring. And so I'd like all the children now who are willing to go to the back. We have adults helping you there, and you are going to get various tokens of spring, and you will be coming forward when they tell you, and there is a pot of sand up here by the umbrellas, and that's where you'll be bringing your prop, and then you'll go to the back again and get another one, and the adults in the back will instruct you. Adults, you have a role to play too. The eclectics, the elements, each element will extol the virtues of their element for the season, and then we will respond musically, and the words will appear on the screen. It's part of the song, Turn the World Around. And I think the kids are in their places. I think we are ready. The eclectics are ready. So now let's welcome the spring equinox, a time of celebration as the days lengthen. The earth awakens from winter's sleep, and the cycle of life begins again.
Greetings from air of the east and the first spring breezes which carry the migrating butterflies home and scatter the seeds of flowers to come, filling the air with the scent of green buds and the sound of bird songs. Welcome, spring. Welcome, gentle beauty. Celebrate this season of new life and new possibilities.
So
Greetings from fire of the south and the sun's warm rays, which enliven the buds and seeds, showing us the first sign of color in the corner of the eye from a passing bird or a sprouting crocus, washing the world in golden light. Welcome spring, welcome gentle beauty. Celebrate this season of new life and new possibilities.
Turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life.
Greetings from water of the west and the warm, soft rains that glisten in the garden as the soil thaws, and the city gardener inserts a spade to turn the soil, to begin the tilling and planting. And the farmer rouses from a winter respite. Welcome spring, welcome gentle beauty. Celebrate this season of new life and new possibilities.
From earth of the north, with its rich brown soil that gives way to a soft green aura, the gentle stirring of growth beneath the dead leaves and grass of winter. And day by day, we watch new life emerge and unfold. Welcome spring, welcome gentle beauty. Celebrate this season of new life and new possibilities.
Toad by the Road by Joanne Ryder. I'm only a toad by the side of the road, watching the world go by. Some hustle and hurry, some bustle and scurry, some wiggle, flicker, or fly. They come and go on the way and to fro, but I'd rather sit and sing. It's a glorious day, I'm so happy to stay and savor the sounds of spring. After Winter by Carolyn Sherwin Bailey. A little bit of blowing, a little bit of snow, a little bit of growing, and the daffodils will show. On every twig that's lonely, a new green leaf will swing. On every patient treetop, a thrush will stop and sing. A little bit of sleeting, a little bit of rain, the blue, blue sky for greeting, a crocus comes again. And every frozen hillside, its gift of grass will bring, for every day of winter, another day of spring. Waiting to Grow by Frank French, adapted by Audrey Kinstrom. Little white snowdrop, just waking up, a violet, a daisy, and sweet buttercup. Think of the flowers there under the snow, waiting to grow, yes, waiting to grow. And think of the many odd little seeds of flowers and mosses, of ferns and weeds, under the leaves, rotting under the snow, waiting to grow, yes, waiting to grow. Think of the roots getting ready to sprout, reaching their slender brown fingers about, pushing through earth and the leaves and the snow, starting to grow, yes, starting to grow. No seed is too small, nor hidden so well, that the light cannot find it, nor the rain make it swell. Sunshine will warm those new buds below, making them grow, yes, making them grow.
First Unitarian Society is a congregational humanist community. We are here for each other, our neighbors, and our planet, and one manifestation of that is our caring team. I am a member of that team, and we are here for you. If at any time there's something happening in your life that you'd like to share with the care team or with this community, please send a note to joysandconcerns@firstunitarian.org. You can also do this using the contact form on our website. After the assembly, you're invited to stop by the card basket downstairs to send a note to folks you're especially thinking of today or the people we mentioned in Joys and Concerns. A joy for all of us as we mark the changing of the seasons is the ever-increasing daylight we experience this time of year. And what a delight to watch new life appear as we get outdoors in the warmer weather and reconnect with nature more often. Even so, we also acknowledge our concern over the ongoing damage being done to Earth's air and water and the threats to all plants and animals due to the climate crisis and humanity's callousness. We share much gratitude this morning for our staff, particularly Tim, Jacob, and our stewards, for making it possible for us to host 2 memorial services yesterday. And much thanks to the many who volunteered to help in the kitchen and to serve with such grace. It was a full and meaningful day here for all involved. Let's take a moment to connect with our humanity and to remember those who are suffering. You're invited in these moments to reflect on all the joys, losses, griefs, and milestones in our lives, in the lives of those we love, and in the lives of all beings everywhere. May all be safe, happy, and well. A moment of silence.
Readers Theater Troupe, come on up and take your places. We now have, as we always do for the spring and fall equinoxes, we have a Readers Theater skit, intergenerational. One of our team members, seasonal celebration team members, Jane Graves, always finds a wonderful folk tale. This year we have a Chinese folk tale that is called The Empty Pot. And Jane and Avi Weiler adapted it for our Readers Theater production today. So, with that, I'll get out of the way and let the show begin.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, in China, there was a boy named Ping who loved flowers.
He loved them more than almost anything, and they seemed to love him back.
Anything he planted burst into bloom. Up came flowers, bushes, and even big fruit trees.
As if by magic.
I can't decide which of you I like more. You're always so elegant, little Lily, but your cousin, the Snapdragon, has this glow about him that makes it so hard to choose.
Young, look at Ping talking to those flowers. Why does he do that?
Wait, don't be mean. Maybe flowers grow prettier when you talk to them. And everyone knows that Ping's flowers are the most beautiful of them all.
And beautiful flowers were prized all across the land.
Everyone loved them, especially the emperor. In fact, the emperor's favorite place was his garden, and caring for his plants was one of his most cherished pastimes.
Caring for these plants is easy. I give them water, and they grow. I wish all things in life were so simple.
But the emperor had a problem. A big problem.
In all my many years of life, I never managed to have a child of my own. And now I'm growing too old for ruling. However, will I find myself an heir? Who shall be my successor?
After many months of pacing in his garden, the emperor finally came up with a plan.
And the annual spring festival was the perfect time to set it into motion.
I'm so excited for the festival this year.
I've heard that the emperor is planning to open his garden to the public.
And his garden is surely the best in all the land.
Who cares about a dumb garden? I've heard that the emperor is going to give all the children a fancy gift. I'm hoping for a big, strong horse so that I don't have to walk to school anymore.
Oh, will you let me ride it too? Will you? Will you?
Maybe, if you share your test answers with me.
I'd rather visit the emperor's garden. I can't even imagine the variety of flowers that he grows in there. I want to see them all.
The rumor mill was half right. The emperor did indeed plan to allow the public into the garden.
And to give all the children a gift, but not at all the gift they expected.
Children, I shall give you each a seed. You will care for it all year long. And the child that brings me the most beautiful flower at next year's spring festival shall be the next emperor.
Ping, you've got this in the bag.
Hey, you all have just as big a chance as I do.
What a lousy gift. The gift of work. Ugh.
But if you become emperor, you can have 100 horses to do all your work. Your feet will never touch the ground again.
That does sound pretty sweet. All right, I'll grow this stupid flower.
If I were the emperor, I'd have a garden just like he does now. I'd get the chance to care for plants I've never even seen before. Maybe that's what this seed is. So much potential right in the palm of my hand. I need to plant it right away.
And he did. Ping rushed home to find the nicest pot he had, and he filled it with his best soil.
Every day he took care of it. He watered it gently. He amended the soil with the most nutritious fertilizer he could find, and he waited.
And waited.
And waited.
Surely I should be seeing a sprout by now. What's wrong with you, little one? What do you need?
How's talking to plants working out for you now? I haven't said a word to my flower, but it's already growing tall. Did you kill yours or something?
Don't let them get to you, Ping. My flower's not growing yet either.
Thanks, Young. Maybe they're special seeds from a far-off land, and they have a different growing cycle. Maybe that's the test.
But there was never a single sign of life in Ping's pot.
Not a sprout.
Not a leaf, and not a root in sight. All through the summer months, Ping tended to his seed carefully. He transferred it to a different pot. He changed the soil. He moved it to a sunnier location, but nothing.
By the time the leaves began to change color and fall from the trees, Ping was beginning to give up hope.
But he couldn't quit entirely, for he still wanted to do his best for the emperor.
Wow, Ping, you talk a big game with your green thumb and all, but you can't make one measly seed grow. Look at mine. It already needs a bigger pot. Even Young's is thriving.
Yes, it has started growing, but don't worry, Ping. Your seed will start growing eventually. I just know it.
And even by midwinter, when Ping took the pot inside so the seed wouldn't freeze,
There wasn't a single spot of green anywhere.
Father, Mother, I feel like I'm letting you down.
You could never let us down when you do your best.
But my best doesn't seem to be good enough this time. Wei says that all the other kids have big, beautiful flowers coming out of their pots, but I couldn't even make mine sprout. I'm so ashamed.
Don't listen to Wei. Remember what you have learned about flowers. Every seed is different.
Your diligence and determination will pay off one day. You'll see.
Ping wasn't so sure. Diligence and determination were fine attributes, but hard work alone wouldn't fill his flowerless pot. Clearly he was missing something.
the spring festival arrived again, and Ping's pot was the only one with nothing to show for his year of work.
You're not going to bring that sad, empty pot to the Emperor's palace, are you? You should just stay home.
No, Ping, you should come. Who cares if you didn't get your seed to grow?
Yeah, come and look at everyone's awesome plants, like mine. Isn't this flower the best?
I've grown lots of flowers better than yours, Wei, and you know it. It's just this seed that I can't make bloom.
We'd better go, Wei, or we'll be late. I hope I see you at the festival, Ping.
Wei was right, weren't they? I can't go to the Emperor with an empty pot.
Don't think like that, Ping. You did your best, and your best is good enough to present to the Emperor.
How can you be so sure?
Everyone's best is always good enough. It doesn't matter if you weren't able to completely accomplish what you set out to do.
Go to the Emperor and be honest about what happened. He will admire your earnestness, even if you have nothing to show for it.
Okay, I'll go to the spring festival. I'll show the Emperor my empty pot.
When Ping got to the palace, he was amazed by the variety of glorious blossoms.
Flowers he'd never seen before.
Flowers he'd never even imagined before.
So many colors and shapes. Ping was more ashamed of his empty pot than ever.
The Emperor was surveying all the pots, but he was frowning.
Until his eyes lit on Ping's pot. Ping's empty pot.
Young one, what is this? Why have you brought me an empty pot?
'Cause he's an idiot.
Forgive me, Emperor. I've tried my very best to grow the seed you gave me. I watered it, fertilized it, and watched it every day. But no matter what I did, the seed wouldn't grow.
Aha! Finally, I have found them. I have found my successor.
Wait, what?
You mean Ping? The next emperor?
I don't understand.
The beans I gave you were all cooked. Not a single one was capable of sprouting. I don't know where the rest of you got your seeds, but they weren't from me.
I thought it was just mine, and it wouldn't hurt if I just, helped it along.
Stupid emperor, stupid flower, stupid ping. After all the work I put in to grow the stupid seed, what a waste of time.
Ping, you are truly a treasure. It's like wading through a murky swamp to discover the most delicate of orchids. I admire your great courage to appear before me with this pot.
Even though it's empty?
Though to everyone here it appears empty, it is actually very full of truth. And for that honesty, I will now reward you with my empire.
My parents told me that doing my best and being honest was the right thing to do, and I guess they were right.
After that, Ping became known far and wide as one of the wisest, most steadfast, and most honest of all of China's emperors.
And he is still remembered to this day for his glorious gardens, which he lovingly tended to himself and opened to the public every spring.
Happy Spring Equinox!
Thanks again to Jane and Avi for that wonderful tale that relates to our monthly theme of trust. And now the Eclectics will lead us in singing De Colores. We invite the kids to come up and get scarves and shakers from Audrey and Rick, or maybe it's Audrey and Jane. And they'll lead a parade around the hall with the children waving all the colors as we sing together and celebrate the coming of spring. Parents, feel free to join your children as well. De Colores is number 305 in the Gray Songbook, but the words will also be on the screen. Please stand as you are willing and able.
1, 2, 3, 1. Springtime with all of its flowers. Oh,
I'm like Ping. I love flowers. But then, who doesn't love flowers? But I'm also like Ping in that I love to grow flowers. And just as Ping demonstrated trust between himself and the emperor by demonstrating honesty and integrity, I feel like I've grown into a trusting relationship with the plants in my garden by demonstrating reliability, especially with the perennials. Some of them I've been growing more than 35 years. They just keep coming back. It's like we're friends now. It's like, hello, Mr. Peony. I'm so glad you came back this spring. I've realized over the years that it has to be a trusting relationship between the plants and me. Every year, starting in spring, the plants come up from the ground, take nutrients from the soil, take the water and the sunlight, do their photosynthesis thing, and grow. But I have a part in this relationship too. First, I plant them where they can thrive, protect them in the winter by raking leaves from the yard into the garden, remove that protection in the spring, amend the soil with compost so they get the nutrients they need, water them when nature doesn't, and remove any plants that get in their way, also known as weeding. And if I uphold my end of that relationship and prove to be trustworthy, they reward me with beautiful flowers that make me, my family, the neighbors, the UPS guy, the mail carrier, anybody who comes over, anybody walking by, happy. Because again, who doesn't love flowers? I know plants have complex communication systems that I don't really understand, but I like to think that the plants and I have a rudimentary communication system where we both trust each other. Speaking of plant communication systems, we know bees and plants communicate with each other. And bees are one of the most, if not the most, important member of the animal kingdom, because without them, we wouldn't have food. I'm happy to say that the flowers in my garden attract hundreds of bees, one smaller than a fly, than the flies, all the way up to those huge bumblebees that are so big and furry that you want to pet them. Recently, I read some research that found evidence that bees may be able to recognize human faces. No, what? Bees may be able to recognize human faces. I mean, just when I thought I couldn't love bees more, they just never cease to amaze me. But that evidence tracks with me because when I'm working in the garden, I will literally be inches away from a whole bunch of bees, and they just ignore me. It's like they think, oh, that's just that human that's always out here. She won't hurt us. They trust me. Occasionally one will strafe me, but I just move over a couple of feet and it carries on with what it was doing. I figure that one just doesn't know me yet. My son, Matthew, also loves bees. A couple of years ago, I had an oregano plant that was taking over an area in one of my gardens, so I dug it up, divided it, and moved it into a couple of different gardens around the yard. Oh, can we get that slide? Okay, that's, yes, okay, so the plant on your right is the oregano plant, okay? And then I want to also point out the plant on your left is called, it's very aptly named bee balm. Both of these plants attract bees like crazy, and they're very prolific. And so I'm serious here. I have a lot of this in my garden. If you want some of this in your garden, just see me at Mini Meal, and I will gladly dig some up for you when the time is right and deliver it to you. And I'm serious. Okay, back to my story. My son came outside and pointed to the area where the oregano had been and was not happy that it wasn't there anymore. I explained that it still existed in other areas of the yard, but he pointed out that the bees will look for it next year in that same spot. So I dug some of it back up and replanted it in that same spot. I do not want to break trust with the bees. A big part of trust is reliability. Last week, Rev Jullan talked about Brene Brown's concept of braving. R is the reliability part of that acronym. Brene Brown says, reliability is when someone does what they say they are going to do over and over again. They can't just follow through on their word once. Reliability builds gradually. Such it is with my garden. I can't just water it once or weed it once. I have to continually do these things throughout the season and every year in order for my garden to thrive. And in that thriving, for the bees to come. And if I want to trust that my plants will grow and trust that the bees will come, I have to be trustworthy. And while it may seem trivial to some to spend so much time building trust with my plants or thinking about it or talking about it, I like to think that this demonstration of reliability spills over into my human relationships. Trust is built in so many ways. Ping acts with honesty and integrity with the emperor. I act reliability so my plants will grow beautiful flowers. And who doesn't love flowers?
Hello, I'm Julie Stewart, and I serve on your Board of Trustees. We've been talking a lot about community in the past several months, and the critical role one's community can play in difficult times. How many communities are you part of? I have my family, my friends, my condo building, which is basically my neighborhood, my music community, and of course, so importantly, this community, First Unitarian Society. But last weekend, I felt the powerful presence of another community I hadn't been aware I was part of. I was at a local cinema to see a Metropolitan Opera HD broadcast of Fidelio, Beethoven's opera about a political prisoner and the triumph of love, courage, and freedom over a ruthless dictator. Although this opera must have been scheduled several years ago, its meaning for the present day was lost on nobody. As the Met's general manager, Peter Gelb, noted in his pre-performance interview being broadcast worldwide. But even more striking were the interviews held with the singers during the intermission. None interviewed were American, none. Yet you would never have known that from the dismay and grief each showed over what has been happening here. It was happening not just to us, but to them too. I felt strongly how important the idea of America is for people around the globe, how despite all our flaws, if our Constitution and our Bill of Rights were to crumble, it would be a devastating loss, not just for us, but for everyone, everywhere. And challenging as our situation is, it was indeed a comfort to feel that larger community behind us, supporting us, caring deeply what happens to us. Truly, we are not alone. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, First Unitarian Society is a free, lost my place. First Unitarian Society is a free, independent, and self-governing humanist community. As members and friends of this community, we share our time and energy, our creativity, our imagination, our vision, our talents, our skills, and our gifts of treasure. Your financial support is an important element in turning our shared vision into reality. If you use the QR code on the screen, it will take you to our donor page. Here you can contribute to the annual fund. You can also stop by the office or mail in your donation. You are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able. Thank you.
2, 1, 2.
Are the bells of Norwich and the people come and go. Here by the Tower of Julian I'll tell them what I know. Bring out bells of Norwich and let the winter come and go. All shall be well again, I know. Love like the yellow daffodil is gone. the Tower of Julian, I'll tell them what I know. Ring out bells of Norwich and let the winter come and go. All shall be well again, I know.
After assembly, for those in the building, please join us downstairs for conversation and our spring brunch. If you're able, there's a donation jar and a credit card reader for donations, as well as a QR code. Today's special brunch menu is heroic hash brown bake, which is vegetarian, or caramel apple oats, which is vegan and gluten-free. And then there's smoky pulled ham, also gluten-free, or vegan sausage. And then there will be antipasto salad, which is vegan and gluten-free, hash brown patties, assorted tableside sweets, and, for the 21 and over crowd, mimosas. We encourage you to linger and socialize at this community celebration, and there will be some games for the kids when they're done eating in the chalice room. Then stick around for a Q&A time with the FUS Board of Trustees beginning at 12:30. Just want a little more time for our nice spring brunch. So the Board of Trustees will be at 12:30 back up here in this room. Bring your questions and your curiosity. Members of the board will be on hand to fill you in on what's happening at FUS and to field your questions. Contact the FUS office if you'd like a link to join by Zoom. Finally, a note for families. Next Sunday at 10:30, the Ethical Explorers will have their final workshop with guest teaching artist Alana Morris. Ethical Explorers happens each Sunday in the Chalice Room.
Here we go. Earth of the North, get your flowers. Earth of the North. Earth of the North and bread of life, sprouting through black and brown and red rich soils, prepare again for us a table of plenty and a feast for our eyes. Make gardeners of us all, ecological stewards of the land, ever mindful of you this springtime.
Water of the West and fountain of life, cycling through melting snow, foggy mists, and pouring rains, wash away the dregs of winter as you swell streams and fill aquifers. Shower us with creativity and good sense to be water wise, ever mindful of you this springtime.
Fire of the South and source of life, shining light and energy into our delicately balanced biosphere. Brighten our days with splashes of color and shades of beauty. Warm us to the choices of wisely harnessed power and well-used resources. Ever mindful of you this springtime.
Air of the east and breath of life, circulating currents of change and fair weather winds. Blow a warm breeze that gathers the sunshine and tickles our senses. Clear our heads of stale ideas and invigorate us for new endeavors, ever mindful of you this springtime.
Way to go. There's a warm wind blowing round the bend, and the days are growing long again. I will go down by the river and wash the cold away and gaze across the water. Oh, chance, and a yellow blossom on a branch. There's a warm wind blowing round the bend, and the days are growing long again. There's a thaw beneath falling snow, and the geese don't know which way to go. There's a warm wind blowing round the bend, and the days are growing long again. Da-da-dee-dee-dee-da-da-da, la-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-da-da-da, la-da-dee-dee-dee-da-da-da, la-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-da-da-da.
Changes abound around us, within us, between us, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, and our beloved faith communities. Changes abound. May we each find the balance point we need as we move through our ever-changing world. The balance between the old and the new, between the known and the unknown, between the familiar and the perhaps bold and risky possibilities that may be there waiting. So may it be.